G'day and welcome to the Garden Gurus. I'm Trevor Cochran. We have got another sensational program for you, packed full of down-to-earth gardening advice. Of course, it's all about Aussie gardens, just like this. Here's what's coming up on today's show. This week, we take you into the backyard of Weekend Today and 60 Minutes presenter Alison Langdon. That is beautiful.
Right. Well, we've looked after it by totally ignoring it and doing absolutely nothing.
Melissa highlights the beautiful crepe myrtle.
It's the perfect feature tree for any garden.
And I'll take you for a look into the growing world of green apartment living.
It's a great way of creating a great space for people to live in and swim by the pool.
Digging around. I got my spade, I got my hoe, I got my rake, and I'm ready to go.
For a quality lawn mowing job, you've got to be good with your detailed work around trees, edges and stepping stones. Specialist lawn shears do a good job, but that work takes time. For speed and efficiency, you can't beat a good quality line trimmer. Always remember safety equipment, ear and eye protection and maybe long pants. Some people like the full face protection visor. Check for any stones or other dangerous objects that could take off at speed if hit. That includes dog poo. Yep, Jack Russell. When trimming, match the mowing height for an even look and be careful around trees not to ring bark them. The Rover RS 2600 has a powerful 25cc two-stroke engine, spring assist starting for easy pulling. It's got the curved shaft for balance and improved viewing. It's got the 43cm diameter trimming zone, and at 4.5 kilos is lightweight. The RS 3000 has the same functions as the 2600, but comes with a 29cc four-stroke engine for greater durability. Both line trimmers are multi-function units capable of operating 8 different attachments, obviously not all at once. These attachments are also multi-brand compatible, which means they work with most other attachment-capable trimmers. Nice touch. So here they are. You've got the edger for edging, the trimmers for trimming, got the pole pruner for pole pruning. There's the hedger for hedging, the blower for blowing. There's also the broom for brooming, the brush cutter for brush cutting, and the cultivator for cultivating. And they all come with a 2-year domestic warranty for peace of mind.
Last week, I shared with you the staple diet of the plants in my garden. It's this stuff here. It's called sea salt, and if you haven't heard of it, I'd be really surprised. It's sourced from, well, quite a unique bull kelp that's actually harvested from the beaches of King Island. And the brew itself, well, it's a secret formula that stimulates soil microbial health and root growth. It's absolutely brilliant. Over the years, the basic product evolved as research proved that varying formulas worked differently. Sea salt had highly active liquid compost added, which improved soil structure, and they added a wetting agent. Whilst this product was great for gardens, it was awesome for lawns, which can take a battering during the summer months. It's called sea salt for lush green lawns. It's a special formulation that gets incredible results, particularly if your lawn's been heat stressed during the summertime. You know, it'll give it a beautiful green luster in just a few days. And here's the thing, this is a soil tonic, so it gets it nice and healthy, and a plant fertiliser all in one. Having a healthy, happy lawn has never been easier. Apply once a month for the best lawn in the street.
Magnolia Little Gem is such a classic evergreen screen. So it's one of the more compact forms of the evergreen magnolia, and it's smothered in creamy white, fragrant flowers through the summer and autumn time. Now, it's actually a lot more tolerant of pruning than you might think. These trees were about double the size up until they were cut back about 2 years ago, and look how fabulous they look. So for more great advice, join us after the break on The Garden Gurus.
If you've followed the Garden Gurus over the years, you will know that we're very big advocates for roadside or verge gardens, particularly when they're edible gardens. We think it's such a great idea. And as cities get bigger and density of population becomes more, being able to produce food in spaces that are quite small but public spaces is a really exciting prospect. And this new initiative that we've just discovered, well, I think that this is really exciting if this is the future of food production. The City of Bayswater has developed a new edible pocket garden policy, and Chris Cornish, Deputy Mayor and Councillor, first floated the idea of letting residents grow their veggies on council verges and expanded it to local parks. It all happened back in 2015. Well, Chris, you guys have been real trendsetters when it's come to public space being used for edible gardens. Verges was your very first big initiative, but now something really exciting is happening with parks. Tell us about what's happened.
Well, at this park and at every park in the City of Bayswater, if a resident wants to plant some food-producing plants, they've got a very simple process where they'll be allowed to do that.
Now, how did this all come about?
4 years ago, I was shown a guerrilla garden, which was very productive. It hadn't been a complaint for 20 years.
Yep.
And I said, well, this is illegal, but it needs to become legal. So we've had this policy at the City of Bayswater for 3 years now, and it just got delivered 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And already we've had 7 applications for parks, and this was the very first one, this park.
So tell me about the application.
It's such a simple it's one form, and I can show it to you.
So it's an application for Treewan Park, which is right here.
Pretty much, a resident just has to put their details in, a bit of a mud map, which is very basic.
Yep. And what species she would like to see planted in.
They'll get that signed
So
off.
this is the actual application.
That is.
And that's
it. So within a day, you could have approval and plant a lemon tree. You know, we've shown it can be done. We'd love to see some other local governments around the country do the same.
fantastic, mate. Congratulations. What a great initiative.
Thank you, Trevor.
Imagine this happening in parks all over Australia. Food forests being created for residents to share the produce. I think it'd make society so much better. And in particularly areas where, well, we don't have a lot of space to garden, it would be so convenient. If you want to know some more information about this wonderful initiative, check out this website, and maybe you should have a chat to your local council and see what their position is on a food forest in your local park.
Succulents are a fascinating group of plants, really interesting. Just have a look at these 3 that I'm going to be working with. I've got the Echeveria here. This one is Paul Bunyan. This one over here, we've got the Cotyledon Silverways, just sensational. Look at that. And then over here, I've got a Sedum, and this one, Blue Pearl. Excellent. Now, these guys come from all sorts of dry areas, so they're perfect for the feature bulb that I'm going to create. First and most important element to any pot plant is the potting mix. Succulents have to have really good drainage, so I'm using a specialist cacti and succulent potting mix. It'll drain well but hold the moisture that these plants need. It's perfect. Look at this. Here we go. Paul Bunyan is coming to get you. Just carefully tip that out, and I'm going to nestle him into the corner. And by the way, look at those flowers. We're going with the silver wave. We get that out. We got the sedum. Coax that one into this side. Now, turn that around a bit. Look at that. Look at the way those colours blend in and work together like one big, beautiful succulent display. This is a great display that will last the long, hot Aussie summer, thriving with minimal water. Well, there you go, folks, and there you have it, a beautiful succulent display. There are all sorts out there. In an hour, you could create your own piece of magic. A lovely display, and they make good gifts too. Woo! Here we go. Look at this. Feeding the geese and feeding the ducks. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a wonderful property like this, you got to put some lakes in, and you got to get yourself some geese. These beauties, oh, look out. These beauties here are Toulouse. The white one is another one that's white, and at the back there we've got some brown ducks. More good gardening advice and animal tips with Ruck after the break.
This is one of my all-time favourite trees. Now, you'll often see the crepe myrtle growing in hot, dry areas or in roadside plantings, and for good reason. It is one tough, beautiful tree. You can grow it in most parts of Australia, and because most varieties only get to around 4 metres tall, it's the perfect feature tree for any garden. This tree looks good in every season. Come summer, it's smothered in vibrant flowers in shades of pink, purple, white and reddish tones. In autumn, the flowers give way to gorgeous foliage colour in all the sunset shades. Even when they're bare in winter, the trunk is a real feature with beautifully smooth mottled bark. In fact, the bark on these trees is like a good wine. It only gets better with age. And when the new growth comes through in the springtime, it's an iridescent lime green. So really, there isn't a time of year when this tree doesn't look good. And if you take a closer look at the flowers, they've got a wonderful ruffled crepe-like texture, hence the name crepe myrtle. Now, the only downside to growing this tree is that some of the older varieties tended to be susceptible to powdery mildew. So just make sure you grow them in a spot that's nice and sunny with good air circulation, or pick one of the spectacular new varieties that's both tough and powdery mildew resistant. I love the varieties with burgundy or near black foliage, like crepe myrtles in the Diamonds in the Dark series, with blooms that really pop. When the new foliage comes through in the spring, it's a brilliant red colour, but quickly deepens to near black. So the dark foliage is a real feature of these plants, and a wonderful contrast to other greens in the landscape. Because crepe myrtles lose their leaves in the wintertime, they're a great choice if you're after a tree that provides summer shade but still lets that lovely winter sun through. Now, you can prune them in the wintertime. If you do, you'll promote long, arching branches of flowers, but you can lose a little bit of that nice natural shape. So I tend to leave mine unpruned and then just simply cut off those spent flower heads after flowering. You'll still get a wonderful shaped tree and lots of flowers. And if you really want the best out of them, just give them a dose of complete fertiliser as the first signs of new growth come through in the springtime. You'll be rewarded with a magnificent display of flowers. If you're after something really special, keep an eye out for this new variety, Enduring Summer Red, with vibrant flowers from early summer right through to autumn that really jump out at you.
Our cities in Australia are changing rapidly as our population grows. More and more people seem to be leaving the country, and this has seen city living density increase. In most places close to the CBDs, this means backyards are disappearing. The reality is environments lush with plants and green are good for us, for our general health, our vitality and our mental health too. So what's being done to make sure we still enjoy green environments in these high density locations? Julian Rose from Deep Green Landscapes has recently completed an interesting new complex that delivers a lush tropical green environment. Julian, this is another interesting project for Deep Green Landscapes. You've built a lot of these styles of gardens. This one, I can't help but feel like I'm in some kind of luxury resort here.
More and more we're seeing a lot more of these projects being built. We have big, lush, tropical style gardens in apartment building complexes, and this is a very great example of that. And it's a great way of creating a great space for people to live in and swim by the pool.
When it comes to selecting all the species, some of these, they've got the exotic look like you'd see them in Thailand, but these are not varieties that originate from those climates, they originate from drier climates.
Very much so. I mean, here we've got mainly natives with some exotics as well, and the exotics that are designed more to like handle that hotter, drier climate. And doing work with the architects that designed it and the nurseries and everything's very, very important when it comes to us building projects like this to make sure we get the right plants in the right job.
Julian's team have a speciality of creating living walls and green rooftops, which has been very popular with developers. As people seek more greenery, one great benefit of living walls is the natural air conditioner effect. Now, these plants literally take in stale carbon dioxide-rich air and convert it to oxygen-rich air. The exchange of moisture into the atmosphere actually changes the environment, making it more humid and enjoyable on hot days. Now, speaking of water, very exotic looking garden. How much water does it use? Does it use more water than a normal suburban garden?
Well, Trevor, we're watering as per the water restrictions here, so we only get to water twice a week.
Right.
We've got a special engineered soil here that's not only lightweight to go up on the structural slab, but it has a lot of water holding capacity in it. So the idea is that it hangs onto the water long enough for the plants to get as much out of it as they can before it drains away. And we specially designed that just for this project.
What do people have to do to keep these plants looking great?
We tend site here twice a week. A bit of trimming, a bit of pruning. Our main focus is fertilising. So on an on-slab situation like this where we've got the raised planter beds,
Yep.
we've got to keep the fertiliser levels up in the gardens, and you can see from all of the plants that we've got here, it's all looking green and lush.
You've done a great job. Another wonderful place for people to live in, and it's all just through a lot of thought and planning. Well done.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Trevor.
For residents, the feeling must be like living in a resort. Pools, lush gardens, entertaining areas, they all make for a great quality of life. Now, this is one of my favourite plants in the garden in the autumn period. It's the angel's trumpets. Now, the leaves and also the flowers can be quite toxic, but the idea is to look at it and enjoy it as an ornamental feature plant, not to ingest it. This time of the year, it produces so many flowers. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, all this will be is a sea of yellow, so it is a real highlight. After the break, more brilliant gardening advice right here on The Garden Gurus. If there's one challenge we're getting asked about all the time here at The Garden Gurus, it's what do I do with all my extra produce? My friend Sophie Budd is a talented chef who's worked with Rick Stein and Jamie Oliver, and she's offered to share her favourite preserve recipes.
Today I'm making a white peach and honey jam. I'm using honey from the Perth Hills and West Australian white peaches. This jam is really good. I'm using honey today because we've got enough white sugar in our diets. So use a pot like this one. This is a cast iron covered in ceramic, or you can use a stainless steel. You'll notice that I've used quite ripe peaches. In they go. Now, next goes the honey. I'm going to get a big dollop and pour it into the pot. So now it's time to julienne the lemon. What I want is just the lemon zest, and I don't want the pith, which is the white bit just underneath. Now you can use a peeler, but I'm going to use a sharp chef's knife, and I'm just going to run my knife around the outside. And this is a pretty big lemon, so I'm just going to use about 1/4 of it. Cook stirring occasionally for about 12 minutes. And pour into prepared jars. Seal the lid tight and pop it into a pot of boiling water and simmer for a couple of minutes, covering the tops. So this is great on yogurt for breakfast, but my favourite is on top of ice cream. This is a perfect way to preserve those summer fruits as we go into the autumn months.
On this series of The Garden Gurus, we're travelling the country to visit some of our favourite Nine Network personalities' backyards. This week we're visiting the garden of Weekend Today host and 60 Minutes reporter Alison Langdon. It's a little piece of paradise on the coast with a couple of problems that sandy garden owners will understand. Well, thank you so much for having us in your beautiful garden. This is awesome.
It's our pleasure.
I've got a little present for you first. That's a miniature moth orchid. They're cute little plants. I just love the delicate little flowers.
It's gorgeous. That one can go on my desk at work.
There you go. There you go. So I take it that the lawn's getting a bit of wear and tear from somebody?
Yeah, so this is sport, and
Sport.
sport is the reason why the grass isn't in such great shape in certain places. And also, with the garden bed here, I'll show you
What happened?
why it looks like it does.
What's going on, sport?
Is this.
Straight up.
Straight up through the middle.
I can help you with the lawn. It's really easy. It's all about just stimulating as much growth so it can handle wear and tear. Garden bed, however, can I have a bit of a look? I love this elevated section. This is great. Having a look at it, the problem here is sand. You've probably got this issue with regards to actually getting water into them, which is why they look so stunted. They're just not growing.
We put like a potting mix in,
Yeah.
and we've watered them, and they do nothing.
Yeah. This particular type of plant, which is a member of the lily-pilly family, it's a dwarf form. It makes a lovely small hedge, and it's probably just going to get above the stone, so it'll be like a small screening plant. I reckon you need a layer of mulch about that thick over the top. You do have some mulch down, which is good, but I would get something a little bit thicker over the top, and a wetting agent. That'll make a big difference, and they'll suddenly grow. You'll be surprised. This is also often used as a screening plant. This is the mock orange, the Morea, but that'd be one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. That is beautiful.
Right. Well, we've looked after it by totally ignoring it and doing absolutely nothing.
If somebody asks me, you know, I killed a plant, I say, what do you do? It's either too much love or not enough. So somewhere
There's not
in
a
between.
single plant in our house that suffers from too much love.
Can we have a look at this lawn up here? This looks pretty good. So tell me a little bit about this lawn.
It gets a lot of weeds in it, to be honest. This looks like a different kind of grass than what's growing over here.
It is, but I think there's a common track leading to the gate. It's quite spongy and soft. It's good playing surface.
Because look right above you.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to...
All right, okay.
Are you any good?
Okay, I've got a 12-year-old who'd be very disappointed if I... Oh, no! Thank you very much for showing me around your backyard. Thought I'd
What about this way?
Oops. Oh, don't. No! Oh. Well, that's all we've got for you this week, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now, look at this beautiful garden. We are so lucky to live here in Australia where we can grow so many stunning plants. And over the next few weeks, we'll be sharing them with you as we roll through another autumn series of the Garden Gurus. We are back next week. We've got some brilliant gardening advice. If you want any information from today's show, maybe a fact sheet, maybe watch a video, or just maybe get some more gardening advice, visit our website. It's a great resource. And of course, if you've got a specific question, become a friend on Facebook. We love to share and answer questions across our Facebook community. I'm Trevor Cochran. We'll see you next week for the Garden Gurus. See you then.